Alright guys, welcome to today's edition of the Crown Traders, the first edition of the Crown Traders price action today. We're taking you on what we perceive, what we see price behaving like. Okay, and we hope that this session raise traders that are seasoned and constructive in their approach to the financial market. Now, this is not a financial institution. We're in no way giving financial advice. This is a disclaimer to the general public. We're in no way giving a financial advice on this platform. What we seek to do is to just bring out our own personal opinions as to what the price movements are happening in the financial industry. It could either be in binary or in the forex world. We seek to give you a straight analysis or interpretation of what price is doing so that it can help your trading journey and we can grow better and bigger and be consistent in our trades. Now, this particular edition is sponsored by the Crown Traders, like I said earlier on, and we'll be continuing this edition subsequently, not just a one-time thing, but something that will be continuing from today, and then we have another session on Wednesday, and next week we go up again, and we'll be picking up various pairs ranging from the binary platform, the trade of the volatility index, down to our forex market, and we'll be seeing the different buyers and how price responds to different factors that can determine either a downward spiral or an upward movement, as the case may be. So before we continue, I remain the Crown Trader, Joseph, and I'll be your host for today, and subsequently other hosts will join me as we grow together and learn from one another. Now, this is where we're going to start with. Let's start with the forex market. Now, on my pair today, I'm looking at for GBP JPY, and from a monthly time frame perspective, I see price in a downward movement. I don't see price buying, although it's between two zones. This is a supply zone here, and this is a demand zone. In supply zones you sell, demand zones you buy. I see price having a tendency to not break that particular point. On my weekly time frame, price is between two opinions, either to drop or to go up, and there's a high tendency for it to go up because it's in a smaller resistance, or in the lower time frame. It shows that price is in daily time frame specifically. It shows that price is within a range, and price might likely come downward a bit and then spike downward before going to the upside. But whatever the case may be, you just all come approaching the markets in an open mind, knowing that price can either go up or down as it chooses to. Okay, when I plot my zigzag to give me a description of the current structure in this particular market. So at this zigzag tool is telling me that there is likelihood for price to touch this particular supply zone on a daily time frame, come down to this minor demand zone, grab a retest of it and then drop, or it might likely break above it, something like this. Another scenario that is likely to be happening here: break above it, retest that same zone, forming a new demand zone at that point, and then moves to the upside. So but the former is more likely to happen than this current view of GBP JPY. Now that's the daily time frame view. It's possible to have this happen, but the probability is 1:7. That's unlikely for it to happen. So I stick to this particular movement. I see price going downward for now before it goes upward in the long run. Now coming to AUD JPY, Aussie JPY, you get to find out that price is still in an upward spiral. Price is violated some structures here. Oh, sorry, price is about having a structural shift. It's been consolidating on that particular side, and it showed us how that there is a structure by the left hand side of what price is currently doing. Structure that contains is a bearish structure, head and shoulder pattern. If you can see it clearly, you see an head and shoulder pattern that shows us that this is the neckline, this is the left, this is the right shoulder, this is the head of that particular structure, and then this is an extension of what price is doing, thereby breaking a trend line, Please excuse me, let me remove all these tools that I use for analysis. So on the 4-hour time frame, you discover that this is what is happening. But before we get to this point, let's go to the monthly time frame. The monthly time frame is price at a resistance point or a supply zone, and you can see that it's also resting directly on the monthly trend line. Look at that. So we suspect that price does not push above it. It actually broke above this particular zone here, and then it broke up a bit and then came down, retested the zone. So this is the retest of the zone, and then we're expecting that it drops down from that place on the weekly time frame. The daily time frame is saying the same thing, and then the 4-hour time frame shows us our possible points of entries that we can enter and take advantage of this downward movement that we see AUD JPY going for now. So this is what price is saying in AUD JPY and JPY, AUD JPY and JBP, the pounds and the yen. Now I want to just show something quickly, possibly to give us a clearer picture of what is happening. If you check closely on this, the zigzag tools tells us that this structure has shifted. You see, this is a very long impulsive move, but if you want to change it to a line chart, you possibly see that this is a head and shoulder pattern, left shoulder, right. This is the drop down, the breaking of the neckline. This is the breaking of the neckline somewhere here, and then this is the retest here, and then it's an extension of what happens after the retest. So this same retest is what we're expecting that price touches, and then it drops from that particular point. If you change it to the daily, you just see that the informations there are too much, and you might not necessarily interpret it accurately. So there are so many factors you need to consider before you can accurately make your good trading decisions. Factors such as chart patterns, the use of candlestick patterns, the use of your points and supports and demand, the use of psychological zones, and the likes of them. We teach this particular aspect in the Crown Traders that enables you trade like a professional, that trades with so much confidence, knowing fully well that trading is risky, and you have accepted the risk that is involved in trading. So this is for AUD JPY. Let's rush quickly to that of the binary market. The binary market will start quickly here with step index. Step index has been on an upward move recently. It has been on an upward move recently after hitting a daily demand zone. It shot up above to form this particular movement upward. Okay, excuse me, let me just clean this diagram, this tool, and then let the zigzag tool help me identify that structure sweetly. Alright, so step index has been on a downward spiral for a while now, and as you can see, yeah, this is it, as clean as that. You can see it. You go from the weekly time frame, you see that it's on a horizontal line. You see that smoothly hits that particular zone. So there is a confluence there. Trend line has been tested. Its zone has been tested also. Okay, and then is also a fresh supply zone forming to come downwards and then before going upward in the long run. So we would be, if we take advantage of this trade and be in it for a very long period of time. Okay, so this is what I'm expecting. Arrows shows it there, a breakage down to this side, entering this particular zone. We test it and then we drop down to the downside. And then before we now think of what price is doing. Now you don't predict price, you react to what price is doing, and you react to it based on different factors that are put into consideration. The use of a trend line, the use of your zones, the use of your resistance and supply, the use of chart patterns, candlestick analysis, and the likes of them. All these things that are factors you put into place for you to make a trading decision, and several other factors that the crown traders can be able to provide you with to make accurate decision. I think I'm in this step index already, and the sniper entry for that matter. Now and also AUD/JPY, I'm also waiting for it. Next is Boom 1000. Boom 1000 has been in an upward spiral for a while now, and it has been buying for a while, broken several zones and all that. But this particular time, we see that it's possible for it not to go beyond where it is because it's resting on a zone, and we see that price might drop from where it is down to this particular point here, and here. Not to plot the zigzag tool, but in case if that will be of help to you, let me just do that very quickly. Now that's the zigzag tool for you. That's the zigzag tool telling you what price is doing. Can you see that? Can you see that? Okay. Let me increase the font size, the width of it rather. Okay, this is the width of it. So you see what's happening here. Price had the tendency to come downwards in this particular motion. Next to it is a crash index. Crash index has the same tendency to do what the Boom 1000 is also doing. It has been buying for a while now, and here we are expecting it to drop from this point down to 11.116, and then even furthermore, if this zone is successfully broken and then the structural shift happens like this, we expect that price comes down to this particular point. This 75 1s on the other hand is also doing good by bringing us to a particular strong zone here, but it has been selling for a while. This index was just included recently with little or no data, but with adequate knowledge you can still trade it. Now we're expecting that price moves from where it is now, from daily time frame, 4-hour time frame, into a region where we can be able to pull this down to the upside. But right now it's resting on the zone, and we don't see price going below this zone. This is the correct move, and this is a higher low, this is a higher high, and this is a higher low, and then possibly we'll have a higher high somewhere here, and then higher low, and then continuing to the upside. That's how the structure of this market is expected to be on a 1 time frame, and we hope to see this happen. So I think I'm currently in this one also, on a sniper for that matter, and then sniper entry, so that we can ride up above it with the proper risk management somewhere around this place to avoid being stopped out. Now this is it for this pair, and the pairs that are arranged. So subsequently we'll be handling 2 or 3 other pairs as we grow into profit in this business. Alright, for now I'd like you to like, subscribe, share, and then give me your comment below, and then let's grow together in this industry. Right now I wish you a very profitable week as you go back there and trade confidently with all the discipline that is needed. Cheers. Grace, guys. Bye for now.